Michael Mann, work for Chick-Fil-A in Athens, Georgia. I'm here at Chick-Fil-A Barnett Shoals with Shane Todd, and I've been with him for 10 years. And I'm joined this evening by a guy who's going way back in time, who I spent a number of years with at the Beechwood store. Hey, Nick, why don't you kind of share with everybody where are you at now, what are you up to, and kind of what career path are you on?
Started law school in 2017. That was a wild ride. 3 years there at Atlanta John Marshall Law School in Atlanta. I took the bar, passed it first time. Really was excited about that. Started looking for jobs. In January of this year, I got my first job. The firm I was at, we didn't mesh too well. So I started looking for my next move. Found that at a personal injury firm. I started there in March. I worked there for a few months, and then I got a call from a job that I had applied to when I was trying to leave my first firm.
Your life, definitely a career, is not going to just be just from A to Z exactly definitely how you plan it or how you want it to go. But as we know, oftentimes that's when you kind of learn things about the people who love you or about yourself, or even a lot of times for me, those experiences are things I look back on and like, man, I learned a huge lesson there that I wouldn't have learned any other way. And then when I encounter somebody else going through a similar thing, or maybe it just impacts kind of my day to day, it's to my benefit for sure. So kind of shifting gears, again, looking back in time, back to your time in Athens a little bit, walk me through, why did you originally come to work for Chick-Fil-A?
I joined to, start earning a little bit of money, to get some work experience. My older sister had worked at Beechwood, before I did, and, always had heard great things about Chick-fil-A in general, and then more specifically Beechwood. So yeah, when they offered the position, I was excited to join the team.
What would a couple of those things be? Things you remember learning or experiencing that either just were helpful at that point in time, or maybe even you're like, hey man, this is a foundational piece to who I am today, how I interact with people, how I do my job, or anything beyond.
Yeah, it's funny that you say interact with people. So that's number one. I tell prospective employers all the time in interviews that, on several occasions that, when I worked for Chick-fil-A, that was probably the most meaningful work experience that I've had. I had the opportunity to speak with so many different individuals from both the Athens community, from UGA, and they all come from so many different diverse backgrounds. And I just learned how to connect with people and find common ground, people that, I don't normally interact with on a day-to-day basis. One other thing that I'll focus on that I learned was how to be versatile and change directions on a dime. And at Chick-fil-A, there are a ton of different roles and tasks that have to be completed on a daily basis. And you have to be comfortable, filling all those roles and completing those tasks. And that ability also is something that's extremely translatable to any job or any position, anything that you're doing in life. To be able to plug and play is a skill set that employers really value everywhere.
I heard a leader recently say you shouldn't as much focus on having the highest maximum, but having the highest minimum possible, right? And what he was getting at was maybe you're an 8 out of 10 in-person communication, but you're a 3 out of 10 in email communication. You got to pull your lowest categories up and be either really good or fairly competitive across the board. And that makes you that much more competitive in career or even just in life. What's some advice that you would have, being a guy with all this experience and definitely a versatile experience set? What would be words of wisdom or advice that you would want to share with someone maybe not quite as far along on the path to success or in their career? Try
out a lot of different things. Try as many things as you can think of, and don't be afraid that they won't work out. Many times we don't know what we'll like or what we'll love until we try it, right? Things won't always work out, and that doesn't mean that you failed at it. It just means you went somewhere and you learned and you found out that maybe it wasn't for you. Maybe you find out that it is for you. But you don't know until you try. But whatever you're doing, make sure that you're always taking away knowledge and skills that will translate to other areas. That's how you maximize your growth. Sometimes you'll find, and it's kind of funny how life works out, you'll think you're going to do something that's completely different from what you want to do. And sometimes you'll find out that you had to do this thing that you never wanted to do to get to where you wanted to be. I never planned to go into family law. I never planned to go into personal injury law. But only by going into those areas of law did the opportunity that I now have, kind of rise up and come my way. So whatever your calling is, whatever you want to do in life, you'll get there. It'll come. It's gonna come when it's time. Our time is not God's time. So, just have faith in that whatever it is that you're looking for, it's gonna be there.
Nick, thanks for your time, man. It's been awesome.
You're welcome, man. Thank you. Anytime.